Hey guys, welcome back. This is Bernard from the BTNHD. Do not freak out. Your sound is working on your computer, or on your laptop, or on your mobile device. I just did a quick unboxing of the ThinkPad P72 from Lenovo. And what's inside the box? Well, pretty self-explanatory. You have the ThinkPad P72 setup guide. You have your ThinkPad safety and warranty guide. You have a heavy gauge power cord, and you have your power brick, which is actually 230 watts. And I'm going to plug this guy in. Awesome. Put it to the side. And last but not least, we have the beautiful ThinkPad P72 workstation laptop. This guy is a beast, weighing around 7.5 pounds. This is the type of machine that I don't really recommend traveling because it's extremely heavy. Plus, with the laptop and the power brick, it's just a lot to carry around. This is one of those machines that you replace at your workstation, standing table, plug it in, and forget about it and just start using it. So let's take a closer look on some of the ports and features. So the ThinkPad P72 has a crap load of ports. So if you have the laptop to the point that you're able to open it up like this, on your right hand side, we have your Ethernet port, your RJ45. You have your display port, which kind of sucks because that means you have to purchase an additional thing to use that port. You have your SD card reader, and we have two 3.1 USB ports. And right next to that, we have a audio combo jack, which allows you to hook up a headphone or a headphone with a mic system. Now, on the left-hand side, we have only one 3.1 USB port, and this one is always on charging. Now, the left and the right, you say to yourself, that's it with the ports? No way. Now, with the P72, you have more ports at the back side. We have an additional 3.1 USB port. Right next to that, we have an HDMI. And right next to the HDMI port, we have two Thunderbolt 3 ports, which allows you to hook up external monitors. And last but not least, your power port. Now, the P72 has a lot of ports, but it also includes a lot of ventilations, a lot of vents on your right, your left, and on the back side to keep this beast nice and cool. We will talk about the heating pretty soon, but let's open it up, power it on, and take a closer look on some of the specifications, the keyboard, the trackpad, and the display. Okay, so let's open up the ThinkPad P72. Real slow. Oh, beautiful. Look at that beautiful 17.3 inch display. Lenovo does advertise two types of display. You could get the full HD or the ultra HD. Now, this particular model that I've been reviewing for you guys for the past couple of days is the 4K model with the resolution of 3840 by 2160. Awesome. Now, if you want to power it on the upper right side, the power button is located right there. Let's turn it on. Now, one of the things I like about the ThinkPad P72 that it is equipped with an infrared camera, which allows you to use Windows Hello. If you don't like to use the infrared camera, you could use the fingerprint scanner. So right now, it's going to try to look for my face, and it saw my face, and it logged in quickly. How awesome is that? Don't get me wrong. If you don't want to set up the Windows Hello, you can always use the fingerprint scanner. It's pretty cool. Now, for the keyboard itself, the keyboard is backlit, which is pretty awesome. One of the cool things about the ThinkPad P72 is that the function key and the control key are in the right location. Awesome. Good job, Lenovo. Now, the P72 actually has a full keyboard layout, which actually has the number pad. At the very top of the keyboard, it's the speaker, which is awesome. I also like the feature that it gives you the LED indicators for Wi-Fi when it's kind of turned on or when you're connected, and also a LED indicator which is blinking right now for your hard drive. Now, if you want to know the space between each key, if you take 1/4 and the dime, that is the distance between each key. I did enjoy using the keyboard. I always like the ThinkPad keyboard because the way it just feels, it feels really nice. I didn't have any issues with the keys at all. Awesome. Never have any complaints with the ThinkPad keyboard, which is Good job, Lenovo. For the trackpad, one of the cool things about the ThinkPad P72, I like that the trackpad has the indicators right here, or the buttons for your left and your right. Also on the keyboard, you have your fingerprint scanner, which is located right here underneath the directional keys. It's another security feature with the P72. Right next to the fingerprint scanner, you have your trackpad. Now, the trackpad, I did not have any issues using it. No freezing, no nothing. It just works. Now, for the length of the trackpad, if you take 2/4 and 3 dimes, that's basically the length that you're dealing with. It's pretty small. It's not really large or wide, but it's nice. I did see myself using a Bluetooth or a wired mouse on this particular machine. Okay, so we finished talking about the keyboard, full keyboard layout on the P72. The trackpad, awesome. Love them a lot. Let's talk about the beautiful 17.3 display. Again, Lenovo does advertise the P72 with 2 versions on the display. You have an Ultra HD, which is the 4K model. That is the one that I have been reviewing for you guys, with a resolution of 3840 by 2160. You can also get it with the full HD. Now, if you get the full HD or the Ultra HD, the price will change on you. You're still going to get the beautiful 17.3-inch display. And it's not touch. Awesome, good job. At the very top of the display, you have 2 webcams. This webcam right here is your standard webcam, which is gives you 720p. Right next to that, you have your 2 mics, which is right here and right here. And this little guy right here is actually your infrared camera, which allows you to set up Windows Hello within the Windows 10 operating system. That is how I logged into this machine. Okay, so the P72 has an awesome keyboard, trackpad, beautiful display, infrared camera, blah, 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 right? But what's the deal with the performance? I love this machine so much. A lot of you guys always ask, like, what type of machine do you have that you're running your lab, your virtual lab? I always use a workstation like the P72 at the very beginning, but then I kind of upgraded into like a server or to the cloud using like Azure and stuff. But this is the type of machine that I will definitely get if I am traveling and I need to have like a virtual lab, like a lab to go, right? One of the cool things about this, I was playing around with VirtualBox. You are able to install VMware Workstation on this. This guy is a monster. I'm going to power this machine on because right now I have like a screen recording software recording the screen, and I am also going to power on a virtual machine. And I could do all that with this particular machine with the specifications, which I'm going to go over with you guys right now. I'm going to right click on the taskbar. I'm going to go to Task Manager, and I want to show you guys what I've been using so far. It gives you a nice little overview of the processes. Nothing. Look at the CPU. Look at the memory. Look at the disk. Look at the GPU. It's like, it's crazy. Ubuntu right now is running. Let's go to performance. And on the CPU, if I right click on it, go to change graph to logical processors, we have 12 logical processors, right? 1 socket, 6 cores, 12 logical processors. It is running an Intel Xeon E2186M CPU with a clock speed of 2.90 gigahertz. Holy moly. Now, with the P72, you can actually get it configured with an Intel processor or a Xeon. If you get the Xeon one, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. I'm going to go over the pricing with you guys pretty soon, so do not worry. For memory, this particular machine has 16 gigs. But from my understanding, I think you could get up to maybe 128 gigs of memory. Again, I'm going to go over that a little bit with you guys soon. For hard drive, we have 2 hard drives. Your primary hard drive, your C drive, is actually running a solid state drive, and this one is actually 512 gigs. And for your D drive, which is your raw storage, you could get a 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. You could either get a 5400 RPM or a 7200 RPM secondary hard drive. It's really up to you. If you get a 7200 RPM 2 terabytes, it's going to cost you more money. You have your Ethernet, and then you have your GPU. Now your GPU, now this model that I have been testing out with you guys, I'm going to expand this a little bit, has the NVIDIA Quadro P5200 with the Max-Q design with 16 gigs. What? This machine is built For those individuals that are using like SketchUp, 3D Max, Maya, a lot of rendering, it is packed with so much power. And the fact that I am able to run, my virtual machines, like right now, let's change the view to this to scale. See, switch, there it goes. The machine is equipped to run multiple things at the same time. I was able to do After Effects and Premiere, running them side by side with no problems. Even having Chrome in the background. I mean, Chrome is a huge hogger when it comes with memory. And the fact that I could actually run VirtualBox and have multiple virtual machines, create a lab on the go, and still continuously work, the P72 is awesome for that. Now, with the P72 having an NVIDIA Quadro P5200 with a Max-Q design, 16 gigs of memory on this graphics card, you're probably saying to yourself, okay, it's great for editing, using After Effects, 3D Max, Maya, SketchUp, all that stuff. This guy is a huge monster. It's a replacement of a desktop, but let's say if you want to have some downtime and some fun, could it game? Hells yeah, it could game. I had a lot of fun playing with League of Legends, which is one of my favorite games. Street Fighter. I was playing Jump Force. I was playing a lot of games on this machine. It is able to handle it with no problem. But one of my major concerns on the P72 is the battery life and the heating, which we're going to go over right now. So the ThinkPad P72 battery and heating. This machine is a whopping 7.5 pounds. I don't really see myself traveling too much with it. Okay, you could put it inside a duffel bag or a book bag and carry it around, but 7.5 pounds is extremely heavy. Now, I do recommend always carrying the power supply because the battery life on the P72 sucks. Again, you got to understand it is a review unit and the results that I got were pretty low. So I ran PC Mark 10 4 times on this particular machine. I ran the battery life with office usage and it took about 2 hours and 16 minutes. I ran the second test with video and it was about 2 hours and 23 minutes. The third test was basically gaming and it was only 50 minutes. Like, wow. And last but not least, just having the laptop idle, Wi-Fi was turned off, and just leave it alone. Nothing was running behind the scenes and it took around 3 hours and 8 minutes. It looks like when the machine is being used really heavy, the battery is hit hard if you do not have it plugged into the power source. I also noticed that when I was doing my After Effects rendering, my Photoshop, my Premiere, and I was rendering videos out, this guy gets extremely hot. I mean, too hot. It gets hot around this area right here and especially around the display. Now, Lenovo solves that problem with the Lenovo Vantage. And if you open it up, they have a cooling section that allows you to switch on and off. So if we go to hardware right now, and within hardware, we go inside smart settings. And within smart settings, they have the intelligent cooling. I have mine in extreme performance. And I feel like this feature doesn't really do much. It's really hot, really hot. Around this area right here, when I'm resting my palms, it gets extremely hot. Like right now, the machine is not really being used as heavy like I was using it before. So it's a little warm. It's not to the point that it's driving me nuts. Okay, so the machine has a little bit of heating issue. That's okay. Performance-wise, it's epic awesome. How about the pricing? This guy is not one of those particular machines that I recommend for an individual that has a tight budget. It is extremely expensive. So let's go inside the Lenovo site and go over some of the tech specification on this particular machine. So first things first, again, like I mentioned before, you are able to get this machine hooked up with an Intel or a Xeon processor. For the Intel, you could get up to an i7-8850H 6-core processor with vPro with a clock speed of 2.60 and up to 4.30 gigahertz with Turbo Boost. For the Xeon, you could get the E2186M 6-core processor with vPro, clock speed of 2.90 gigahertz and up to 4.80 gigahertz with Turbo Boost. For operating system, you're going to get Windows 10. And for the graphics, you're going to get multiple choices. But if you get the highest one, which is the 5200 16 gig one, and that one only is supported with the Xeon processor, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. For display, like I mentioned before, you can get the Full HD or the Ultra HD. For the display, I think this is the highest for, let's see, I think this is the highest on the brightness, and the lowest is this. I'm still able to see the website and all the information. And again, this is the highest on the display, right? For memory, this is where it gets kind of awesome because you got 4 SO-DIMM slots up to 32 gigs, right, per DIMM, up to 128 gigs of DDR4 2400 megahertz, or up to 64 gigs of DDR4 2400 megahertz with ECC. Now, the ECC is the best memory ever. It's only supported for the Xeon processor, but the only difference is because it's the best one, is going to be more expensive and it's going to be a little slow, which is okay. For storage, multiple options, up to 2 terabyte solid state drive. For your D drive, either a 1 or 2 terabyte, depending on what you want. You could get the 5400 RPM or the 7200 RPM, or you could just go all out and go up to 6 terabyte. And I will support up to 2 terabyte PCIe solid state drives, and then 1 by 2 terabyte SATA hard drive. All right. Again, if you go all out and get that 6 terabyte hard drive space, it's going to cost you more money. RAID system, RAID 0, RAID 1, which is awesome. Battery life, 18 hours for me when I was testing this guy out. And you got to understand, this is a review unit. So I don't know what happened on the previous reviewer, but for me, I got around 2 to 2.5 hours of battery life. Now let's check out the pricing. And for the pricing, you got 2 of them, $1,363 and then $2,500 or $2,600 that you are going to spend on this particular machine. For $1,400, you're going to get the Intel processor. For the $2,600, you're going to get the Xeon processor. Okay. And the sucky part is with the $2,600, you're only going to get the Full HD. If you bump it up to the Ultra HD, that's going to add another, I would say maybe $100, $150 more. Memory, you're only going to get 8 gigs. For $2,600, you're only going to get the NVIDIA Quadro P5200 with 8 gigs. Hard drive space, only 256 gig solid state drive. I mean, this machine could go up to $3,000 to $4,000 depending on how you spec it out during your purchase. Okay, so let's conclude our review on the ThinkPad P72 mobile workstation. Yes, it is mobile, but I do not recommend taking this guy anywhere because, again, starting weight is around 7.5 pounds. Do you really want to travel with this guy? It's too heavy. The ThinkPad P72 is a machine that you want to replace your desktop. This is a desktop replacement. But I do recommend that you would keep it in an area that will keep it nice and cool. The reason why is because it gets extremely hot. Don't get me wrong, Lenovo does provide you this nice little cool sensor kind of thing, smart sensor that will try to keep it nice and cool. But for me, it didn't work out at all. During my time when I was using this machine with rendering with Adobe Premiere and After Effects, I did hear some noises. And that's the machine trying to keep itself nice and cool. With all the multiple vents that it has on the left, right, or on the back side, you're going to hear noise because, you know, it's trying to keep itself nice and cool. For pricing, it's not one of those machines that I would say, hey, go get it. It's it would break the bank, especially if you want a lot of memory, a lot of storage, the best processor. And if you want that Xeon processor, damn, you're going to spend a lot of money. The GPU, if you want the best GPU, again, you're going to spend over $3,000 to $4,000 on this particular machine. The battery itself kind of sucks. I only got around 2.5 hours using it. It's one of those machines that you definitely have to find a location, a nice, cool location, put it right there on your desktop, plug it in, and forget about it. Okay? It's not one of the things that you could unplug take it to your sofa, put it on your lap, and start working for hours and hours and hours, because it's not going to happen. The battery life is going to die really quickly, and you're going to feel that heat on your lap. This machine is a desktop replacement, like I mentioned before. I did enjoy reviewing it a lot. It is a machine that you are able to game a little bit, but it is a workhorse. Again, if you don't want to purchase a big desktop and you have the money to spend on this particular laptop, go for it. You do have the 2 Thunderbolt 3 display ports that allows you to hook up 2 external monitors, and you have an HDMI, which you can add a 3rd monitor into this machine and have 3, including the display, 4 in total. Go for it. I mean, it's pretty awesome if you're able to do that. Overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review on the ThinkPad P72. Leave comments right below. Don't forget about hitting that like button, and I catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.